Well, one more game for you this afternoon. Let's see if we can leave you with something to remember for the next couple of hours, because we've got the bronzed Adonis, Steve Beaton. Oh, yes. Finishing you off for the afternoon. And the German giant, Gabriel Clemens. The German #1, a man who is a regular in PDC TV tournaments. And what happens is with Gabriel, he wins a game, or maybe he wins a couple of games, he gets to the last 16, and then it just stops. It always stops at the last 16. He keeps on putting himself in positions to take a big step in his PDC career, and he's just not quite got there. It's the same with the Pro Tour events, to be honest. He keeps going deep, he keeps reaching finals, and isn't able to get over the line. And because of the way that the prize system, the prize structure, the prize money structure, people who win and people who go deep, you know, quarters, semis, finals, in big TV events, that's where the really big jumps in prize money are. And until Gabriel does do that, then what he is going to do, however brilliant he is, he's going to hover. He's going to hover inside that top 32. He could drop out of it, he could get back into it, but he's not going to burst through into that top 20, that top 16, until he starts doing some big things on the telly. Because ultimately, one big run in a big TV event is better for you than just picking up last 32s and last 16 monies in TV events throughout the year.
That's a superb point, Dan. And all he's got to do to see any sort of proof of that over a career is Steve Beaton. Because he has owned that position between 17th and, say, 23rd or 24th in the world for the last 10 years. He has slipped down now outside the top 32, quite a bit outside, in fact. But if you are going to make your strides into the top 16 and stay there, you've got to be making big, big runs. If you look at Steve Beaton's career, one major final in the PDC at the Europeans in 2009 at the unplayable Phil Taylor tournament.
How about this, double eight?
116.
Yeah, and Beaton doesn't have a whole host of PDC titles to his name either, but he's always done enough. He's always had a run when he's needed it somewhere to keep himself right in that sort of top-ish tier of PDC darts. However, things might be changing. We might be seeing the incredible career of the bronzed Adonis winding down. Or we might see him do a Brendan Dolan and find something else. But the thing is, it took Brendan Dolan a good sort of 3 or 4 years to rebuild his game and his career and get to where he is now. And does Steve Beaton have that sort of time? I'm not so sure. And I say that as possibly the greatest Beaton fan on earth.
It's a difficult subject to talk about because I can't imagine a tour without Steve. But ultimately, he is a human being, and at one point he is going to have to look at the situation and think, do I want to continue to do this? He still enjoys playing, he still loves to compete, and as long as he enjoys that, I believe he will still be here.
And he's always said, look, if I believe I can win, if I can believe I can beat all these guys, I'm going to carry on doing. He still believes he's qualified for this. I mean, it's not panic stations or anything. We don't have to go mad here. But Steve Beaton is at this tournament because he's done well enough over the year.
Just to flip the script a little bit, Dan, one of the good things that we can say is that the romantic aspect of Steve's career. What if he won this tournament?
Well, quite. I mean, that would be. Oh, how about this? Bull.
96.
Very, very close. Gabriel Clemens has started this pretty impressively. Treble 20 for tops.
65.
Let's just see if Gabriel can take this 25, because I've got a question for you about that shot for Steve. Does take it. Very good stuff from the German giant. You would expect that from him. But with that lie on the 25, was there a case for Bull there?
Oh, I mean, there's always a case for it. I just don't think it's a very good case. I mean, come on. Treble 20, nice open treble 20 bed.
57.
I mean, particularly Steve doesn't have the slimmest darts in the world either, or the longest points. There are players I could think of that, you could make a more convincing case. But Clemens has gone back-to-back 14 darters here. You average 107 for a game if you just throw exclusively 14 darters.
96.
And we do know the German giant does have the capability to maintain that over the course of a game, because we've seen him do it. Beaton comes to the party with his first maximum.
I'm sure Gabe's just gone back to Germany and fixed what went wrong at the Grand Slam, but let's face facts, not a lot of stuff went wrong. He played really well, put himself in position to win against Sherrick, and she found one of the best finishes of all time against him. But this, what a leg so far from both players.
Well, only 13 points difference between them, but 74 is a better finish than 87, because Beaton may only get a dart at bull, and it is only a dart at bull. And he misses, whereas Clemens, 2 singles, gives him a dart at the outer ring.
Inner ring gives him 2 at the outer. Oh, the dart was in the way.
66. Stevie required 25.
Straight there, ready to throw. Good marker.
17.
Use it. Does not use it.
He gives you nothing, Steve Beaton, usually, but there was a grunt there. He was very disappointed with missing that. He'll be more disappointed now that Clemens is 3-0 up. But look on the bright side, Steve, it's only 1 break of throw.
It is, but there's that scoreboard pressure, isn't there? If you throw first, and you go whole break hold in a 1-to-6 match, and you're already halfway there before your opponent's even got a leg on the board, then it only makes it harder for your opponent. The longer you've got a 0 next to your name, the more tricky things look.
It was around about this time last year where I received some valuable intel from Mrs. Beaton, Nanette, talking about all of the things that Steve does away from darts, growing his own vegetables and fruit.
Oh, right.
And going for the beach walks in the Norfolk Broads, and the fact that Steve likes to ride a vintage motorcycle as well. I was going to ask you, have you managed to source a photograph yet of Steve Beaton on said motorcycle for your wall?
No, I mean, I have photoshopped many, obviously, but I don't have an authentic one. Well, Gabriel Clemens, a trio of ton 40s to get down to 81. When he first appeared on the scene in PDC darts, oh dear me.
57.
That doesn't help him at all, I'm afraid. But yeah, when he first appeared on the scene in PDC darts, it was his scoring that really caught the eye, Gabriel Clemens. That style of dart that he has, a very tapered nose as he looks at double 16.
65.
Can't pin it. The way he groups them together so tightly, like Whitlock when he first appeared, a bit like Fallon Sherrick does now when she's on form. It really does lend itself to cramming 3 darts into the same bed. And so the 180s, the 140s, he really does have, he's got some heavy artillery, as Gabriel Clemens. Has he got the finishing touch here? No.
That first dart scuppered a lot there, but Steve really needs this. It's the bull again. He's denied him a couple of times. Second round. And Clemens is on the same double. And he's got another blocker. Different segment. He offers the leg to Beaton. It's on a plate, Steve. Gobble it up.
Another good marker for the 8s. But this time he uses it, Steve Beaton, to get into this match. 7 darts missed by Gabriel Clemens for a 4-0 lead. A 4-0 lead was terminal for the Rodriguez brothers, Rusty Jake and Roby John, going 4-0 down and ultimately losing 6-2. Beaton is not quite at that stage yet.
There is a maximum for Steve Beaton. He needs more of that to compete with the scoring power you mentioned, Dan. And just to embellish on that point, of all players playing this afternoon on this board, Gabriel Clemens is the biggest 180 hitter. 236 maximums in Players' Championships this year, ahead of second place, Smith. And the crowd are really starting to get vocal for Steve Beaton. They want more. In order to get more, Steve has got to perform.
Walking in a Beaton wonderland. Here's the tune they've been singing.
34.
And another grunt of frustration from the bronzed Adonis. Because despite going 180-140 to start this leg, if Clemens can find a treble,
58.
oh, it would have left him a very, very makeable out.
47.
Needs a treble, really.
57.
He doesn't get one. So he
Gabriel,
might have to
you
rely
require
on a bit of finishing magic
152.
if Clemens doesn't take this himself, which he might. That's a perler. I'm surprised he missed it. That's a mistake
87.
from Clemens, leaving that
Steve, you
short.
require
Yeah, it really is. We talked about how he can group those darts together so tightly, and he just didn't give it a chance. Well, Steve going back to the bullseye and misses it again. It is the third time that he has missed the bullseye to win a leg, Steve Beaton. Oh dear, 15s now has to be, surely. And now the bull.
14.
There is a bullseye on this board, right?
Steve, you require
Repelling the
25.
darts. There's a double 8.
17.
That hasn't been found.
Gabriel, you require
He's had plenty of chances.
25.
He really has. Really has. Did win the last leg, could have won the leg before, should have won this one, probably. It could be very, very different, but it is 4-1 to the German Giants. And the bronzed Adonis, well, we've seen this story before this year, unfortunately, for Steve. Sometimes he's not played brilliantly, but even when he's played all right, he hasn't taken enough chances over the course of this year. And that has precipitated his drop down the rankings.
46.
Didn't see him at the World Match Play over the summer, did we? First time we've seen a match play without Steve Beaton for many, many years.
21.
And it didn't feel right. I'll tell you what doesn't look right in this match. The way that Steve's darts are going into the board, they seem to be kinking to the left in the same vein as Noppert and Brendan Dolan. It's not the norm for Steve. They're usually going upright and straight, but they are kinking left. Just like that one there.
100.
He's having to adjust on the fly. Winner of this one will take on either Damon Heta or Steve Lennon, and that is one of our games that we have for you tonight. It's a great schedule. I implore you not to miss it. We have former champion Daryl Gurney in our second game tonight, after we kick off with Vincent van der Voort and Jelle Klaassen, and then that Damo Heta and Steve Lennon match will be third.
54.
My headlining game for tonight, Rids against Sulevic. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's a cracker.
139.
Well, I never. Just as a little aside, I've got a little factlet for you.
Factlet.
Yeah, just a little factlet, a little fact about a big man.
55.
I'll bring you the end of this leg.
Steve, you require 46.
46 for the bronzed Adonis. It's that double 8 again.
That's an awful, awful marker.
30.
That flight was really in the way, and even the single 14 was a bit wobbly. Steve's lucky that Clemens was not on a finish or anything smaller
56.
than what he was on.
Steve, you
At least he was
require
given the
16.
second bite of the cherry, which he has
Games on the
taken.
sixth
He's
leg.
very much in this match. Before, I have seen him win
Seventh
from
leg,
this
Gabriel,
position.
front
He can just
first, game
ignite
on.
something. It's very possible.
He could do. He's got to do something like Fallon Sherrick did to Gabriel Clemens by the looks of it at the Grand Slam of darts.
95.
Gabriel denied a spot in the knockout rounds after losing 4 legs on the spin to Fallon, although she was averaging 109 in that spell until he got 141 and 170.
40.
But Gabriel Clemens, who we first saw in PDC Darts 2018, although I thought we first saw him in 2018, his first PDC
58.
tournament was a Players' Championship in Bad Zoden in 2007, where he was beaten by Steve Beaton, believe it or not. I did not know that little fact until just now. He won 75 quid. And we didn't see him again for more than a decade in PDC Darts.
And the trophy for fact mining for the day goes to Dan Dawson. What a find that is.
Would you like to hazard a guess who won that tournament, bearing in mind the year was 2007?
Germany 2007. It was before I turned pro, but I'm going to hazard a guess that it might have been
98.
Adrian
You
Lewis?
require 143.
Hang about. Hang about, double 16. Oh, Steve Beaton misses outside. It was a 170 that proved to be the downfall of Gabriel Clemens at the Grand Slam at the hands of Fallon Sherrick. He will not produce one here to shut the door on Steve Beaton.
56.
Beaton again, it has not been particularly brilliant in this corner of the board, but double 16 is pinned, and he breaks the Clemens throw. And this game is alive right now, and Steve Beaton's chances are alive. To answer a little trivia question for you, 2007 was the clue. Raymond Van Barneveld.
Ah, there you go.
Beat Ronnie Baxter in the final. There we go.
Of course, the one European Tour win that Steve Beaton has was in Germany as well. That's the home of the European Tour. I don't care what you say. Sindelfingen, the glass blast.
Yeah, well, a full European Tour circuit planned for next year. Fingers crossed they all get to go ahead. If they do so, great opportunity for the likes of Beaton, who has, you know, it was only, what, 2 years ago, pre-COVID, I think he qualified for all 6 of the first European Tour events, coming through the qualifiers and every single one of them. You know, something like that can totally change your ranking. And this game is totally changing, because Steve Beaton's third 180 is putting Gabriel Clemens on under all sorts of pressure.
This game's a bit like John Denver singing. Times they are a-changing. He's getting that first start, if not in the 60, in a better position.
60.
That was not part of the plan. He wanted to get on to 96 or better. And this could be a hammer blow on the bull. Nobody's hit it yet.
I'm not sure there is a bullseye on this board. 141 will not go. Gabriel Clemens is going to come back, and he's going to go big 3 for double 16. They've both had a love-hate relationship with that 16 segment. Double 8. A little move across to get out of the way. Oh, and the wire moved.
Steve, you require 82.
One dart at tops for a level game.
42.
The line was spot on.
Gabriel, you
They
require
gave it too much air.
Is that the Beaton comeback snuffed out? It is a break of throw for Germany's number 1. Gabriel Clemens leads this by 5 legs to 3, and he will have the darts to win it 6-3 or to win it 6-5 if we go the distance.
Let's touch on something I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dan, about the possibility of a Martin Schindler Gabriel Clemens match in the first echelons of the World Championship. Just imagine what the viewing public would be like in Germany for that one.
Well, they broke a whole load of records when Gabriel Clemens went on his run to the last 16 at Ali Pali. It was only stopped by Christoph Ratajski, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
But every round that he went was setting new records for viewing figures in Germany. But, you know, with the likes of Clemens, who we know is capable of going deep, Schindler playing some great stuff, Flo Hempel. Oh, look at this, he's back on it. Gabriel Clemens, there was a wobble mid-game.
That dart wobbled in the air. But Steve Beaton still finds 140 to leave 90. But this is for the game. Can Beaton survive and find the first of 2 breaks of throw that he needs?
Is he going bull again here? I'm not sure it's the shot. Oh no, treble 19, now the shot, and he has to hit it. And he doesn't, and it's a loose one, and it might be a first round exit for the bronzed Adonis, because Gabriel Clemens for a 13-darter.
Ouch. Didn't see that coming. But double 8 will keep this going and get the crowd vocal. And listen to that. They believe does Steve.
Steve to throw first. Game on.
Hold his throw. And it'll take us all the way. Well, there's no doubting who the fans want to win this one. They've been singing his name from quite early on in the piece.
81.
Gabriel Clemens hold it together. There's only a point between them in the averages. That's all it is. It was 20 points 3 legs into it when Clemens was 3-0 up. Remember, he missed 7 darts for 4-0 in this game.
The reason Steve is behind in this match is because he's had way too many loose shots. Loose executions on shots. He's had a few darts that have gone in the board very suspectly, just like that one.
42.
I'm not even sure what's happened there.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen with Steve Beaton throwing a dart. And look at the sympathy from Clemens.
140.
Well, this is kind of the free roll for Gabriel Clemens, looking at win it against the darts. He doesn't want to go to a last leg decider, but he does have the darts if he do so. He's got the darts now anyway, because it's another one of those loose visits from Steve Beaton, missing 2 big segments. And Clemens chips away to leave himself on a 2-darter for the match. He has already missed 3 match darts.
135.
That's a great visit. Is it enough to pressurise Clemens for the match? Double 16.
57.
And he's missed again. Beaton is still alive. Is it 5-5? Double 16 for him.
5-5, and Beaton is still alive. A touch of the fists, and Gabriel Clemens now has to get the job done.
A bit of deja vu here for Gabe, being involved in a 1-leg shootout. With the crowd against him, you'll be thinking, not again.
And just a reminder, Gabriel Clemens didn't do a lot wrong in that last leg shootout against Fanacho. Didn't do a lot wrong in the 4 consecutive legs he lost. She just produced a bit of magic. He has the opportunity here to remove any doubt.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to do that? To find a pinpoint maximum in a 1-leg shootout against a legend, against a crowd like this? That takes special courage and incredible execution.
The 18s. Yeah, that will do for Gabriel Clemens. Beaton needs to fill it up. And he's not going to, so it's 6 darts from 1 to 8 for Gabriel Clemens to finally haul himself over the line. He missed 3 darts for 6-3, 2 darts for 6-4. Okay, could go for the 19s here. Oh, and he's blocked that slightly. This is not easy. This could have been a lot easier for Gabriel Clemens.
Doesn't get a treble, but it's still a doable out.
78.
Can he find a 54? Yes, 2 more darts for the match. Double 6, and you can tell that he's edgy. I don't blame him. He's got everybody on his back. And he still finds the winning goal. He wins by 6 legs to 5 and eliminates the legend. He had all of the odds against him in that one. He made it difficult for himself, but he has got the job done. And he will take on Damon Heta or Steve Lennon in the next round. Go on, Gabe, have a nice big deep breath. You've earned it. Winning by the odd leg over Steve Beaton. We're going to take a short break for a few hours now, but we will be back at 7 o'clock. And when we come back, it's going to be an all-Dutch clash between Jelle Klaassen, the man who is replacing Jamie Hughes in this field, against Vincent van der Voort. We will see you at 7 p.m. local time.